Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one. So today we're going to talk about a little topic that I think a lot of people miss when they talk about modern women and this modern dating scene, and that a lot of women now are like, oh, I'm independent and strong and blah blah blah, and like the great Kevin Samuel said, most women don't have careers, they have jobs. You know what I'm saying? They're working, they probably went to college. Well, most people didn't go to college, but they're probably working either retail, or if they did go to college, there's some social worker or whatever making like 50 grand a year, or there's some teacher maybe making 45 or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, if you're making average middle class income, you need two incomes to retire. And a lot of men, we know this. So we either work extra jobs, we work overtime. You know what I mean? A lot of guys even still get married, which isn't something I would recommend doing at this point. But men, we look at things long term, and a lot of women don't. But now that Generation X is starting to age out of the workforce, we're starting to see a lot of women that are panicking about how they're going to retire. So we have a couple clips here we're going to get into, and this explains the whole quote-unquote crisis. So let's get into this. And I'm going to warn you now, there's a whole lot of bullshit excuses in here, so yeah, we'll call those out too.
Barriers in the workplace, there is still one area they fall far behind: savings for retirement. Well, for Positively 50 Plus, Heather Simonson spoke with an expert on how to bridge that gap.
Life is full of surprises.
I suddenly felt like, oh, I just found my voice.
Like Amanda Lambert's freelance writing career that blossomed later in life. But when it comes to retirement savings, she has no surprises.
My parents were really good mentors to us kids because they...
Now, note, she's an older woman. You can obviously tell by the, goofy lesbian haircut and, whatever. But she said that her parents taught her how to save. And that's fine, because a lot of the older generations' parents went through, the Depression and all types of stuff. So they had to scrimp and save.
They were very conservative with their money.
Amanda learned the value of saving and living within her means.
In each cubby was a white
Do you hear that? Living within her means. How many women do you know who do that these days?
envelope. Utilities, groceries, entertainment, gas, and there was cash in each of those. But it worked. Once the cash was gone, that was it. That just stayed with me.
Thriftiness paid off. With zero debt, Amanda now saves her pension payments each month. But statistically, she's an outlier.
Women save only 50 to 70% of what men are saving.
50 to 70% of what men save. That's crazy. That means for every dollar that you have in your Roth IRA, your 401k, and your investments, women have 50 to 70% of that. That's nuts.
But we live longer. And according to research by AARP, we're 80% more likely to be poor.
Boom, right there. 80% more likely to face poverty. That's nuts. That means as women get older, they're 80% more likely to face poverty. Now, this problem used to not be a thing, because women used to be married and then their husband would croak and they'd get all the money. And this is back in the 30s, 40s. But now all these women are all, oh, I'm strong and independent, I don't need to get married. And now they're 80% more likely to face poverty. And look, men, we're happy because now we can just hang out by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Hang out with friends, save up, invest, and live a good life. So we aren't complaining. They are. Let's get back into it.
In retirement.
We have a huge retirement savings gap that for women that we just don't talk about.
Anytime that they say that there's some type of gap, a wage gap, a happiness gap, it's always going to be some moronic BS about, misogyny or any of this other stuff. Ugh, let's get into it.
This country.
Mary Liz Burns with AARP says that stems from how women are socialized.
We've heard a lot of these sort of old-fashioned messages, either spoken or unspoken, that either women are bad with money, or we're
Which they are.
afraid of risk, or we don't know
Which they are.
what to do with our money.
Which you don't.
The key, Burns says, is knowing it's never too late to save for retirement. She recommends take the 2% challenge.
Just save 2% of your income for retirement. Or if you are starting already to save, try to bump it up 1 or 2 percentage points. Every little bit, no matter when it is, whatever it is going to make a difference.
You mean stop doing hot girl summer and stop trying to buy Fendi bags and Birkin bags and getting nails and lashes and all of that? Oh, of course.
Next, talk to your employer about 401k matching plans and other ways to contribute.
If you get a bonus or a windfall, anytime you can put additional dollars in.
And stick with your retirement savings plan no matter what.
I mean, you have to have faith that those little bits will add up over time, and then they do.
Amanda is confident she's prepared for the unexpected, leaving the surprises to her writing.
I think that's about.
But let's see how her friends fare. I wish that they'd have put a whole panel of all the women down the street who are single and old too. So we'll end that one, and we'll just jump to this other clip here. And guys, buckle in for this one, because this is some real madness right here. Let's get into it.
Time and time again, you should start saving for retirement now. But it seems women aren't heeding that advice
You think?
because there is a retirement gap for ladies.
There's that gap word again.
Vanessa McElrath with MLNR Wealth Management is here to give us some advice. So what exactly is this gap?
Well, there's been lots of studies that show that women end up with less in retirement savings than men. And this could have a really detrimental impact on their retirement well-being, especially.
And what do you think is the first reason that they're going to go for? Who wants to bet me money? You guys know what it is, right? Watch this.
Since women live longer than men.
Now, of course, my first question when I hear that is that because of the pay gap?
Ding, 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 ding.
Because women don't make as much money, so maybe we can't save as much money?
That's a big part of it. You know, a Pew Research study found that women typically earn 85 cents for every dollar that men earn.
And they're going to keep saying that over and over again, even though it's been disproven and debunked thousands of times. No person in their right mind believes that this wage gap thing is legit. And yet they keep doing this and they keep saying this. And it's been disproven over and over and over. And all that is people go, oh, well, it's trying to drive a wedge between men and women. What it is, the National Organization of Women and all of these women's organizations get money from the government every year. So they have to have this boogeyman. They have to have this nebulous narrative that they can quote unquote fight so they can get that money every year. And this wage gap is one of the things that they use to keep this quote unquote narrative going. Let's get back into it.
So not only are we taking home less pay, we're also accruing less retirement benefits. So smaller company match, less profit sharing, and less in bonuses.
Well, and that 85%, this minority women earn even less than that.
Even less, that is correct.
So what are women supposed to do?
So they also don't take into account that women make up 80% of the spending decisions, own 70+% of the consumer debt, and like over 60% of the student loan debt. So women earn less and they spend more than men do.
We wear all the hats, we do all the work, and we make less money.
We put everyone else first, but
yeah. They honestly believe this, guys. They honestly believe this. Women always say, oh, you need to, men need to censor what they say when women aren't around. Well, women need to censor what they say when men aren't around, because if there was any man in this room who had balls, he would have something to say about this lunacy. let's get back into it.
Yeah, I'm here to say, women, we got to put ourselves first in this capacity. So I always tell women that we've really got to maximize retirement savings while we can. You know, we often take time out of the workforce to raise children or perhaps to take care of aging grandparents or aging parents. So while you have access to a company retirement plan, sock away as much as you can. And also, even if you don't have a retirement plan at work, you can set up an IRA or Roth and contribute annually to those accounts.
Right, and when we talk about contributing, you want to make sure that whatever the company matches, you got to put in at least that much, right?
Oh yeah, that's free money that you cannot leave on the table. It's an automatic way to get a free raise and money towards your retirement.
And that's the craziest thing about it. Women are the greediest creatures on the planet. They just are. And you would think that with working for a company that'll match and basically give you money into your retirement account that they would do it, but they still don't do it. It's absolutely insane.
Right. And so, ladies, I know it's kind of hard when you're like on a budget and counting those pennies, but you won't even feel it because they're going to take it out your check automatically.
Exactly.
You're not even going to see it.
Exactly. Just set it and forget it. You'll never have to worry about spending it.
Yeah. Another thing that you said women should do is when it comes to Social Security benefits, right?
Right. So when we take time off or perhaps we go from full-time to part-time, we're actually accruing less work credits for Social Security.
Okay, so Social Security, what's that? Most men, was it Generation X, millennial men, we don't even think about Social Security anymore. We're never going to see that ever. Ever. So the fact that these two knuckleheads are actually talking about this is absolutely crazy.
So a way to combat that is to delay taking Social Security benefits. For instance, if you defer until age 70, you could permanently increase your retirement benefits by 132%. So that's a big jump that you can take advantage of.
Wow. And so, you know, if women need help, you know, figuring all of this out, where can they turn?
It used to be that you turned to getting married and have a family. But now, all these girls, hey, they're strong and independent and more power to them. But you know what? As Mr. Palmer said, shout out, Walmart's always hiring. And if not, there's always a tent under the bridge. So we're going to end this one, guys. And now we're going to check out this last one here. And guys, this is where we're headed. This is where American women are headed, because the dating market and everything has got so crazy, and men are checking out. Men are saying, no, not anymore. You don't need us, fine. And that's great. That's perfect. But this is where we're headed next. This video comes from Korea. Check this out.
Korea, of the 7.8 million women in their 30s and 40s, 17.176%, or 1.38 million, are single. Now, in the 21st century, marriage is no longer a necessity, but rather an option, and many women choose to remain single. Yet, there is not enough Social Security for them, creating a blind spot of the structural system.
Oops.
Let's learn more about the issue and what needs to be done to improve the current conditions. Chung Eun-mi is a 41-year-old florist who dreamed of becoming a good wife and wise mother as a child.
So she's 41, she's a florist. So that's not a career, that's a job. It's not like that pays a lot of money is going to match your 401k. You know what I'm saying?
Like the majority of people, she thought she had to get married and form a family when she was younger. But her perspective has changed a lot.
I gained a genuine passion and desire for my career in my early 30s. Therefore, I naturally focused more on my work than romantic relationships, and time passed very quickly.
Do you hear that? She said time passed very quickly.
Chung is not the only one who chooses to remain unmarried. Many women in their 30s and 40s do too. According to the National Statistical Office, 1,384,047 women in their 30s and 40s were single as of 2015.
Now, this is 30s and 40s, guys. Imagine when they're 50 and 60 and healthcare issues start. Then they're going to have some real problems.
And that figure is more than twice that of 10 years ago. The drastic jump largely resulted from women's increased labor force participation. Also, Korea remains a patriarchal society.
Marriage is not only a union of two lovers, but of families, which I found very burdensome. I wasn't sure if I could take care of all the things that occur in my husband's family while pursuing my career.
Currently, 40% of female workers have irregular jobs and earn about $1,500 per month on average. Indeed, the low income has a negative influence on housing stability.
So you see that? They're working, but they're earning way less, and it's causing a housing problem. Man!
The majority of single women live alone, and the residential environments vary depending on economic status. Naturally, there are concerns about women being targets of sexual assault and other crimes, especially for those living in poorer areas, as it is clear that the number of violent crimes against women has been increasing recently.
Well, you chose to be strong and independent and be on your own. You know what I'm saying? You wanted freedom, you were free to succeed, and you're free to fail.
A recent survey conducted by the Seoul Metropolitan Government on women in their 40s and 50s living alone, only 36.9% responded that they were preparing for old age.
Bam! These are women in their 40s and 50s. 63% said they're not preparing for old age. If you're in your 50s, you're already in old age. Can you believe that? That's crazy.
Also, 81.2% of them answered that they were unable to prepare for their later years because they couldn't afford to do so.
81% said they can't afford their later years. 8 out of 10. And this is what happens when women in mass say, look, we don't want to be any type traditional chicks, and then guys say, all right, fine, have at it.
But there's barely any governmental support for them.
Walmart, or whatever the Korean version of Walmart is, they're always hiring, y'all.
39-year-old Kim Hyun-ju works for the
That's a woman?
Cooperative Society of an animal hospital in Seoul. And she mentioned that Korean single women are stuck in the blind spot of social welfare.
They're not stuck. You put yourself there. Do you hear this language? No accountability whatsoever. They're stuck. No, you put yourself there.
More than anything, the biggest fear comes from the fact that there are
She's got a cat.
many structural limits if they suffer from any diseases.
If I needed medical surgery, only my direct family members are eligible to sign the consent form. I currently live with my friend, who is single as well, but she would not be eligible to sign the form, even if my life depended on it.
So they're starting the Golden Girls lifestyle. And at least she got the cat early, right?
As a cat owner, Kim formed a gathering of fellow single women
that all own cats
with animal companions. The best thing about this gathering is that they have good neighbors to rely on in times of emergency, who also have the same interests and concerns.
There are certain hardships we experience because we chose to remain unmarried. We share those things, relate to one another, and get healed along the way.
And you're supposed to just deal with it. Now watch. They're going to be like, we chose to remain unmarried, so now the government has to fix it. Please.
Outside the welfare system, single women have to find their own means to secure their futures.
Like men do, like everyone else on the planet does.
And they're calling on a change in the family-centered social policies.
There you go. See, we want the government to change their policies and fix it, to fix our stupid choices.
Because the tax system, welfare policies, and even the medical insurance system are designed for families, they alienate unmarried women and single-person households. Therefore, our society needs to find ways to embrace and support them rather than merely trying to treat the symptom.
Nope, society doesn't need to do a damn thing. That's what these women don't understand. And here's the thing. See, Korea is very, very, very strict. So they don't really do a lot of the same like woe is me stuff that some of these woke states in the United States do. I would be really, really shocked if anything changed.
For marriage to be truly an option for both genders, the general perception towards singles should be transformed along with new practical policies to meet their needs.
What a load of crap. What these chicks need to understand is marriage needs to be, look, I need to be married because there's a practical benefit to it. So I'd be interested to see how the Korean men are doing. They're probably partying and having a good time, or doing what some Chinese men are actually doing, and that's importing them from other areas, you know? So you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that this will be the United States in 10 to 15 years when the Gen X chicks are in their late 50s and stuff? I mean, I do. I think that that's where we're going. But I think that men are going to be just fine. Because you know what? We've always known that no one's coming to save us. You know? No one. So we save ourselves. All right, you guys. This is AJ. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks for listening. You guys are the absolute best. Stay safe. And I am out of here.